Waterloo Bridge. Now, Waterloo Bridge is nicknamed the Ladies' Bridge because it was built during the Second World War by a predominantly female workforce. It's built out of a self-cleansing stone, so when it rains here in London, as we all know, is once or twice a year, it cleans the face of the bridge. However, the underbelly of the bridge remains relatively dirty, which is, as you can see, is very, very dirty. It's also the longest bridge to span the River Thames, standing at a quarter-mile long. Just on the left there, we've got the busiest lifeboat pier in the UK, getting on average about 5 calls a day, whereas the ones around the coastline get 5 calls a month, and they must deploy in 90 seconds. So if anyone falls in, decides to go for a swim, they're the ones who get the call. As you can see, they are training there in front of the building. We've got Somerset House just behind the tree line there. And this was built for the Dukes and Earls of Somerset. It used to hold all of the information for the births, marriages and deaths of everyone in the UK. Now it's a fantastic open air cinema in the summer months, as well as an ice skating rink in the winter months. Now there's a barge coming up on the right hand side that always makes me giggle. The owner of the barge installed a crow, or like a bird scaring machine on, as you can see in the middle there. It makes some sounds. As you can see, it's working fantastically well. All the seagulls are just sitting there very happily. Obviously it's meant to scare them away. Not working very well, as you can see. On the left we've got the HQS Wellington, the large white vessel. Now this used to be the flagship for the New Zealand Navy, however has now been donated to the Master Mariners, and it's a bit of a drinking club. Now in order to become a Master Mariner, you have to be a captain at sea for 25 years. Obviously it takes a little bit of time to get there in the first place, about 10 years on average, so you can understand why that's one of the most exclusive clubs here in the city. Just behind that boat you can see this small arch. That is known as Temple Arch. That is letting us know that we have just left the city of Westminster and entered the city of London, one of the smallest capital cities in the world, standing at 1 square mile. Along the river wall on the left, you can see these small green lions' heads with the rings in their mouth. They are often mistaken for mooring rings for ships to tie up to. They're actually an early flood warning system for the police before the Thames barrier. If the lions are drinking, then London is sinking, was a rhyme taught to the officers at the time, whereby if the water ever reached the lion's mouth, they would have to evacuate the underground station. Now there's another rhyme we like to use here on the river. I must admit it is not as catchy. If the lion's manes are ducked, then London is well and truly flooded. Yeah, we're still working on that one, as I said. Give us time, we'll get there eventually. Now, if you do see any works going on along the river banks, we're currently updating our sewage system. We are still using the Victorian sewage system that has now reached capacity. So it's a £5 billion project spanning 10 to 15 years, providing thousands